Usually I will read just from a paper Bible, get my text down. And if I take notes, then I will actually, and I'm using a Mac with Sequoia 15.1. But when I take notes, I'll take notes in Notability on my, like on my iPad, and then I can open it up here in my Mac. And I prefer Mac. So then my workflow is I'll read it, take some notes, and then come in here to my Mac. And then, let's say I'm working in Matthew. I've got my Matthew going, and then, I'll do my section and say I'll go to my sermon manager, which I've got right here. And then, then there's all my sermons. I'm in Gospel of Matthew, but I'll go ahead and add, because today I'll be going through 12 through 14 for this Sunday, and maybe more. So, I'll just call it gold medal because, we call it the golden rule, even though it's not. And I'll probably change it. And it's from the Gospel of Matthew series that I've been working in. So just hit the down arrow and enter. And then sometimes I keep track of the numbers. Sometimes I don't. I usually do because I'll also keep an index here in numbers. And I think I haven't updated my numbers index in a while. Because this is usually, I'll go to my numbers index so that I can get my, for when I do video or keep track of podcasts and things like that. It's where I go to get the descriptions, numbers, and stuff like that. But anyway, I know you got an ADHD guy giving you a video on how to do something and what a workflow is. And I didn't script this at all. So anyway, so usually I'll keep track of the number. Like the last Matthew was 23, that's 24. So this will be 25. This is the 25th message. And it'll be Matthew 7, 12 through 14. Okay. All right. And then I'll go down. And I can put a description or not. It's not necessarily, something I need. I usually do about 45 minutes. This is for this Sunday. And actually, when this Sunday comes, it'll publish these notes to the Life thing, the website. So anyway, to its website. And then the venue is going to be at our church. And the service time, we don't do, on Sundays, we don't do an evening service, so I don't even really need to put a service time. Same thing with Wednesdays. It's an evening service, not a morning service, so you don't need to put a time. I usually don't do the audience unless it's just men or like addiction recovery, which would be U-turn, or the like, or if I'm going to do like teaching at the jail or something. But and of course I don't do liturgical stuff, so then I can open it up. Now if I'm looking at this, and I can put in here into quotes and say golden rule, right? And then it'll and then I can look through all of these and say, what do I want? And I think that that's really neat. And then I can close that. And usually there's slides too. You can make slides when you're doing this. And it's just a really cool thing. So now I've got this going. And then I'll show you what the next thing is. So I've done my sermon on my computer. And now I come to the tablet. And coming to the tablet, there's a couple of different ways I can do this. I can just, I can go to sermons here. So if you scroll, right, I'm going to click on this on the bottom right hand side on the little cookie menu there. And then I'm going to open up my little side menu. I can go to sermons, which actually just opens the document. Because it uses the term document for some of the things it stores in the app. I can go to the preaching mode, or I can open the sermon manager. If I'm finished with my notes and I don't need to work on anything, I can go to preaching mode, and then I can open up the message, and then I've got mine set to scroll. But if you want to do something different, just click the A there, the double A at the top, and you can change it to paging so that you are turning the page, and it gives that little fade at the bottom in case it's telling you that little fade part is going to be included on the next page. So where it starts fading at, it's going to be on the next page. But I actually prefer scrolling when I'm doing this. And then you can set your timer. You can change your time in it. You can tell it to flash or not flash. I do, because I need something, it's kind of like with my ADHD, that bright, shiny light distracts me and tells me that, and it'll tell me when the 1 minute, 5 minute, and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I can say, that. Anyway, so, add 5 minutes, take away, do whatever. So anyway, that's that. Now, here's the thing. Occasionally, you got to make sure you touch it and drag instead of just flicking the screen, because then you go all over the place. If I try and click this text right here, Revelation 4:8, I can't open it. It won't open in Logos, like so I can get context or something. And I can just look at my Bible, but sometimes I don't want to have to necessarily turn the page to get to it, but I might want to get context. So one of the things I'll do sometimes, and I'm using landscape, though normally I use portrait when I'm preaching from it, just to let you know. So then, bada boop, bada bing. Let me, one of the things I'll do here is I'll just open the sermon from the documents or from the sermon manager, right? So I can just go to sermon and then open it up. And you're going to see it looks different than it does from preaching mode, because here I would be editing. But one of the things that I can do, like say I can go down to where that, that Revelation 4:8 is, and I can actually click on that and it'll open in the Bible. And then I can read and get more context and stuff like that without having to have, a whole nother thing, or, a paper Bible, or forcibly making it switch to another app or something like that. It's a whole lot simpler. And that's if I'm doing something where I don't want to have all the notes inside of that, then I'll just put links sometimes by just putting in the scripture, and it automatically creates a link because it's in the Logos app. So, even if I just type one in right now, it'll actually create it as a link if I decide I'm not going to put the text in. And then I can just click it to go. But anyway, it's really neat. I can export it out to Proclaim or to Logos. And from the computer, I can send out PDFs. I can copy paste to create slides somewhere. It's really, really handy. Oh, there you go.